Linux file permissions confuse a lot of people because they feel abstract and unforgiving. In this video, I'll show you the simplest working way to understand and use Linux permissions without breaking anything. We'll move slowly and stay practical. If you would like to follow along, there is a link in the video description for a free trial of Linode. Now let's go to the terminal. Before changing permissions, you always look at them. Linux never hides this information. So if we do ls-l, we will see your username, the group name, the file size, and date. This is normal and this is expected. In this video, we're going to focus only on the first section, the permission. This section controls access to the file. Linux permissions use three letters: R, which means read, W, which means change the file, and X, which means run the file. Permissions are split into three groups. The first group is the owner, the second group is the group, and then the third group is everyone else. So for notes.txt, the owner has read-write, and in this case the owner is me, the person who created the document. And then anybody in my group will also have read-write. A group is just a named set of users on the system, and then everybody else in the system will just have read permission. And so you may ask, why do permissions matter? Well, in Linux, a script is just a text file. It will only become runnable when execute permission is allowed. For example, I'm going to do touch script.sh, and if I do ls-l again and look at the permissions of script.sh, right now me and anybody in my group can only read and write it. Others can only read it. There is no execution permission on it. So if I try to run it like a script, I'm going to get permission denied. Linux checks permissions before it runs anything. It will do this every time, so nothing is random. The chmod command changes permissions. The simplest safe change is adding execute. So we do sudo chmod plus x script.sh. I'm going to put in my passwords, so I use sudo. And if we look at the permissions on it real quick, we will see that now the owner and the group and others all have execute permissions on this script. So if I go back and try to run it, it's going to run successfully. Of course, there's nothing in the script right now, so there's no output. And for the purpose of this video, I'll add something simple to the script so we can tell it is running. Click hello world, save. So now if I go to run script, I get hello world. And you can remove permissions just as easily, again by using sudo chmod. I'm going to do -x to remove the executable permission from script. So now if I do ls-l of script, if I spell it right, we'll see that we're back to just read-write permissions on it. The chmod command follows one simple pattern. You can do who, for example, U for owner, G for group, or O for others, and then plus or minus the permission. So I can do sudo chmod U for user plus X for execution. So now only the owner can execute the script. And so if I do ls-l of script, I will see that only the owner group, so only me, has execute permission on the script. And so if I run it, I get hello world. Probably the number one biggest mistake that a lot of people make is changing the wrong file. You should always confirm using ls-l which file you're editing. The second biggest mistake I always see is forgetting execute permission. If you get permission denied, check for X in the group permissions and make sure the file is executable. The third biggest mistake is one that I've made in this video a couple of times already, and that's using sudo unnecessarily. Because I am owner of the file, I do not need to use sudo when running the file. I can simply just run the script as is, and I get hello world. For a good real world example, let's say you deploy a maintenance script onto a Linux server. Even though the script is there on the server, it will not run during automation. So we do ls-l to look at the permissions of the script, and we'll see that there is no executable permission on the script. So the first thing I need to do is go chmod plus x maintenance. So now if I go back up and do ls-l maintenance, we'll see the script is now executable. So if we want the script to run automatically, we can add it to cron now by doing contrab -e. You can select the editor you prefer. I'm going to go with the default Nano. And then we will simply add a task in here for the script to run. Let's save it and run it. So now at 5 a.m. this maintenance script will run on its own, since now it is executable. And you're going to find that there's going to be a lot of daily Linux admin tasks that you can schedule like this or run automatically for you. One small tip for you beginners out there: practice permission changes only on files in your home directory. Do not change permissions on any system folders like the etc directory or the bin directory yet. This will help avoid breaking anything on your system. Your next step is to work through these a few times until it starts to feel normal. Linux permissions are predictable once you understand the pattern. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment down below. I will see you in the next video.